5-minute and 55-second recap skip
I'm
to
autistic.
5:55. If you've already seen this part,
somebody just outcried to me, and I never know what to do in these situations. But I just talked to somebody who I might be the last person they talk to ever. I gave her my pack of cigarettes and advice. That was as cryptic as I could give. So I don't know what to do in these situations. I don't know what I would do if I was in her situation. And normally I'm on the other side of that scenario. Normally everyone else is telling me I don't know what I would do if I were in your situation. So many people have told me that about my life. So I found myself in the rare circumstance of not knowing what I would do if I was in somebody else's situation. And I told her what I would want somebody to tell me, I guess, if they could not help me. And they cared about me surviving and being an empowered person. And I told her defendants have more rights. Defendants have more rights in our judicial system than victims. If you're a victim of a crime, you get put on trial, but if you are the defendant being tried, the court has to protect your right to a fair trial. So I told her defendants have more rights. And I just kept it as simple as that. Defendants have more rights, and then I asked her, what would Madea do? Be grateful for what you have. And then start establishing communities, please. Because the hyper-individualism that our country has suits nobody, and it certainly is not civilized. The definition of civilization is when we started helping each other. The first evidence of a civilized society is a mended femur. If we don't help each other, and if we can't help each other, we are not civilized. Oppression of women is not just the gender pay gap. From the back, come pour some Henny on these niggas, man. You don't wanna fuck with me. I learned from the streets. I roll with my heat. Never turn on my people. I'm God. I came out my mama. A hustler, been through the rain and the pain.
Be grateful for what you have. And then start establishing communities, please. Because the hyper-individualism that our country has suits nobody, and it certainly is not civilized. The definition of civilization is when we started helping each other. The first evidence of a civilized society is a mended femur. If we don't help each other, and if we can't help each other, we are not civilized.
Oppression of women is not just the gender pay gap. Oppression of women is not just the gender pay gap. Oppression of women is not just the gender pay gap.
And I never know what to do in these situations.
So after thinking about it for 24 hours, I realized that the reason I didn't know what to do in that situation is because it was a hostage situation. So, those get sticky and weird. So, she's safe, I'm safe, he's safe, and a crime was prevented. I didn't know what to do, so I just went and told neighbors, and neighbors brought me to a caseworker. The caseworker called the fuck cops. So, that happened, but they just gave him a restraining order and didn't charge him, and, like, I ended up talking to him, too, and was just like, hey, I'm the one who intervened, and just to be straight up, like, this is what happened, and she doesn't feel safe with you, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, I ended up just telling him about my rage disorder, and, like, he admitted they'd been fighting, and she was in fear for her life. And I told him that, and I was like, she was in fear for her life when she talked to me. So that's why they're here, and this is all happening. Because I didn't want to be the last person that she talked to, and I'm fucking autistic, and I'm just sitting here humanizing myself to this man. And honestly, he took to it very well, and, like, didn't even seem to be mad at all that I was basically the one who was the reason why there was police intervention that ended up being here. Even though I didn't myself call the police, I was just, like, going around talking to people, being like, I'm too autistic for this shit. What do? I'm not even from here. I'm not. So, the state supposedly helps people, so I was like, help people, bro. Help them. Both of them. So, hopefully both of them got the help that they need. And I have a new friend. And it's funny because I didn't even realize I've met her before. At another place that I lived. Life is really weird. Sometimes it sends you people that you didn't even remember that you knew. And they trust you. And they don't know why, and you don't know why. And you believe them, and you don't know why. But it turns out that the reason that they trust you and you believe them is because you've already met. In this lifetime. And don't even remember it. I've needed a friend. I'm glad to have a friend. She's really, really glad to have me in her life. I'm glad I did what I did. And somebody got mad at me for, like, interfering. And I was like, I didn't interfere. She outcried to me. She was afraid for her life. That's not me trying to get in anyone's business. And then I told him to mind his business.
And I never know what to do in these situations.
Okay, so here's some updates. I already made an update video, but I didn't really explain what happened. So it's basically a hostage situation because she couldn't get away from him because after, like, a violent incident between the couple, she couldn't get away from him really, and he let her come talk to me. I was the one person she got an opportunity to talk to because I give out cigarettes. I ended up giving her my whole pack, and she didn't even ask for any, but I just knew that she smokes and probably didn't have money for them, and after what we talked about, I gave her the whole pack, and, part of the situation we were trying to avoid is that he's gang affiliated, and it's not a crime to be affiliated now. It used to be, definitely, but, like, as long as you're preventing the crime and just separating two people who need to be separated, it's not necessarily bad yet. So I was like, it was part of why she's afraid of him, and it was relevant, so I mentioned it. And, you know, he's not the only one who's affiliated. I mentioned my affiliations as well. And so, I was like, you know, he's not. This is what I said, and this is why I'm bringing it up, because it's the funniest thing in the fucking world, and I've been watching way too much Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan, but I was like, he said that he could get her popped because he's affiliated, but Tupac said respect women, so I call bullshit, and I don't think that his gang is gonna come help him beat a woman. I think we're all pretty much tied up with our own legal problems to deal with woman beaters. And Cop was just like, damn. And the thing is, it wasn't really snitching. If you listen to the first video, I asked her what would Madea do. And then I watched her brace herself, knowing what she had to do. And instead of just dooming her to deal with that alone, I kept talking about it. Because she couldn't. She was only allowed to talk to me very quick. And he came out and he grabbed her, like, from talking to me even, like, because she talked too long. So, I ended up talking to him too, and I was just like, listen, times are really hard financially, and when that happens, domestic violence gets worse. And I told him that I think domestic violence education needs to be in schools. And I told him that that's how I learned the statistics for it, and I told him the statistics for, it's not just the victims that die, it's also the perpetrators who die. I told him it's 80% of people who don't survive these situations. So I think we saved all of us, even me, because I was involved. One of the best things that we can do to help with our homelessness crisis in this country is humanizing homeless people, which means allowing us on the internet, which means liking the videos of homeless people that you see, even if you might not agree or understand what we're talking about yet. We need to be here and present, which means the algorithms need to pick us up, which means you might not understand what we're talking about yet because you have not experienced life on the street or the problems that we face. When I was homeless in Portland, Oregon, I helped a homeless camp, and I was a live streamer, and I wasn't just trying to be the live streamer who's like getting donations and feeding us all and I'm the savior. I wanted to get them cell phones and then get all of us to be live streamers, because we should be on the internet and be seen. The internet is the historical record, and I think that people who are at risk, the most at risk especially, should be seen on the historical record, because it's our only chance to speak on our short lifespans, where our bodies are not often found, and if they are found, they're not identified. And if they are identified, there's nobody to even claim it because they don't care. Because one of the first things that happens when you become homeless is nobody wants to be your friend or even your family because they can't help you. And even if they like you, it's too painful to look at. So we need to stop being afraid to look at it. My friend that I just saved her life, I'm real glad I have her. Yeah. This is how you do alliances. We're all in war anyways. Best thing we could do is sing and dance and just be honest and try our best. And so that's what I'm going to do with my new friend. I'm going to keep her out of trouble. I always stay out of trouble. I grew up in AA meetings. I was raised by a sponsor. I have a good head on my shoulders. Even around a bunch of people who are all really bad influences normally, but I'm not I'm not influenceable. That's just not who I am. I have a very good head on my shoulders, and I know right from wrong, and I've the best way with words. Literally, I had somebody dealing with the cops today, and even then he couldn't deny I'm fucking Jesus. So, it's an uncanny thing. Me. And my friend too. I really like her. I think you guys are gonna like her. I'm glad I have her. It's therapeutic to have friends.